Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. That statement is going to shock many of you. Why? Because you don't have a grasp of what is truth in your lives. You are guided by the ideas that you hold, that you have been conditioned to hold, about everything that you see in life. The experience of living in this moment is quite different than living in the after moment of thought, which can be manipulated by outside forces, by suggestion, hypnotic suggestion, which can be called satanic mind control. All of the forces which rule the civilized world of which you are a part are satanic. For they control the intellect, the lowest level of consciousness of every man, woman, and child. Now, the intellect is quite necessary for us to communicate, as I am with you now, with other intellects. We must use the intellect in order to link our consciousness. But to understand, to truly link with that which is the deeper aspect of each of us, that which may be found in the subconscious mind, we are blocked from that by the ideas that we hold, we have been conditioned to hold. They separate us, they divide us from each other, based on the differences in ideas that we hold to be sacred in our lives. That is what is satanic mind control. That is what is political mind control. But it comes down to the same source, the satanic source, the dualistic, the split consciousness of duality, which exhibits the energy of conflict and confusion, separation, division, argumentation, violence. All these things are what we call found in the civilized world ruled by the satanic intellect. That's how backward we are. We lose the consciousness of truth. As a child, when we capitulate to the conditioning of our parents, who have capitulated to their parents, equally ignorant, but lies beyond the intellect. Beyond the intellect is truth. Beyond the intellect is life. Beyond the intellect is God. See, that is the truth of what is, of infinite intelligence that is our rightful spiritual heritage. We have given up that spiritual estate in return for the promises and seductions of the intellect, which is ruled by Satan. Thus we become civilized. We become programmable, controllable, robotic. We think in terms of duality, opposition, and conflict, and we never get beyond that level. Thus we are trapped. We become slaves to our intellect. And that intellect is ruled by those who know how to manipulate the intellect. These are our politicians, our leaders, who we see as leaders. They are satanic elitists that know how to profit from the misery of others, who knows how to milk the energy, the life's energy, based in the output of the sweat, labor, provided by unknowing but responsive robots. You, each of you. You wonder why the world is in the state of conflict that it is. But you don't understand that you're the one who's making it that way. Now, I don't want to insult any of you. But what you may hear of what I say will sound insulting to you. Because that's what the intellect does. It reacts. It can only react. The intellect it's impossible for the intellect to think. It can only respond, only react. One must stop the thinking process of the intellect to have a moment of insight. In that insight, one may act. That action is beyond the intellect. It can't be taken back. While you're in your intellect, you can always change your mind, because you are confused, and you're looking for a way out, but you don't know what that way out is. So you look for someone to tell you what it is. You've been trained to do that when you were sent to school, and they groomed your intellect. They took part of you. Now, the intellect is only a part of your consciousness, and it is the lowest end, the lowest part of your consciousness. It is what is found in the conscious mind. We all feel, we sense the unconscious mind. In that unconscious state of what is, which has no beginning nor end, it is not linear, it is multidimensional, it is infinite in its intelligence, and thus it cannot be joined by the intellect. So the intellect creates an image of that truthful energy that is found in the subconscious, in the moment of now, in the eternal moment of now, that cannot be confined to time or space. But the intellect can do that. It does it through thought. It does it through memory. It worships the after moment, its own creation. And in the meantime, it remains ignorant of truth, which can only be found in the subconscious mind. Now, most of you will say that's crazy. That's your level of ignorance speaking. You take pride, the level of the grasp of intelligence that you consider to be your own conditioned intellect. And thus you make your place in the world. You're beneath some, and you stand above others. But you're all in the same milieu of hell. You're all in the same space that's cluttered up with thought that is not fully understood, unless you are kept there, unable to move on with life, which is flowing throughout your consciousness in every eternal moment of now, but you're not paying attention to that. You are locked into your thought process that has been conditioned into you and reinforced at every level by the media, by the suggestions of what's going on in the world that you are not living in. You are hearing ideas of others, of activities that are going on in other parts of the world, and you accept that in your consciousness. You see, you cannot have peace in your life But you're always in the thought of conflict, the thought of war, the thought of government and its power over you, the thought of martial law. All these things are unfolding because you submit to your own inadequacies. But you cannot admit that you are inadequate in consciousness. And you get angry when it's pointed out to you. What's your reactions to what I'm saying to you? It is not, as I say, intended to insult you, but you do feel insulted, don't you? Now, why are we facing martial law here in America? Through this false flag operation, Jade 15, martial law practice. We're going to spring it on you. And as long as you think about it, you can't do a damn thing about it. You can only think about it and stew. You can't act on it. You have been lied to before by your government. Damn near every one of you understand that. That cannot be denied. The government makes many promises, but does not deliver on those promises. It just gives you more promises, as does religion. But it doesn't change our world. We're still killing each other. We're still exploiting each other. We're still enslaving each other or being enslaved by others. We wonder, what can we do about it? Now, at the beginning of this talk, I told you that I was a living Christ. That simply means that I'm a simple man of truth, as was Jesus of Nazareth. Both he and I understand the value of being a nobody rather than a somebody, where somebody can only exist in the intellect. That somebody is an illusion. Government is a satanic illusion. Religion is a satanic illusion. All of these things exist only in your intellect, only in your memories that have been conditioned into you. In the eternal moment of now, which has no beginning or end, it just flows eternally, you are completely oblivious of that. But you lamb onto that moment of thought. You make it concrete in your consciousness. And now it becomes the source of your world. The world of hell. You've just created hell. Didn't know how you did it. I just told you how you did it. And you won't accept it. Because you're too smart. You're too prideful. You're ignorant. You're absolutely ignorant. And the character of your life is testimony to that. It doesn't matter what kind of image you have, whether you have a college degree, whether you have a PhD, you're called doctor. You're ignorant. Because all that lies only in your intellect, nowhere else. And with that limitation, you rule over lesser intellects, people who have an affinity to holding on to memory-based conditioning and doubt themselves. In that doubt, they have enslaved themselves. It's a contract with the professionals, who are those of the upper class intellects, the intelligentsia, the college professors. It's all nonsense. The blind leading the blind. They are somebodies. And they cannot deal with a nobody, Christ. The energy is vastly different. It cannot mingle. Sure, Christ can use the intellect in order to communicate and in order to resolve technical problems, but he does not identify with those technical problems. He faces them down, and the energy of his wholeness dissolves the fragmented energy of the intellect, and the promise and the problem just disappears. Miracle? Some call it that. Nothing miraculous about it. The ability to use holistic intelligence, your holistic intelligence, that's what makes heaven on earth. It is non-dualistic in its nature. It is based in what is the ultimate truth, God itself. Now they prefer to create an image of God, a graven image of God, and then worship that. That's what religions do. And you give your life for that hypnotic trance that you have just accepted. You sold your soul to the devil. Now, let's get back to Jade 15. The planets, the satanic plot to enslave the world, to martial law, to implementing people with guns, armies, police forces, to control unarmed people. Well, here in America, we hold a position that no other country outside of America can say. We have guns. We have maybe not the quality of firepower that the government holds, but individually, we still have guns. Other countries cannot say that. They have disarmed their people and have made them victims. That same attempt to disarm is coming to America. And once you are disarmed, you are a slave. That's your ticket to hell. Bottom line, bottom level of hell, groveling slave. Not able to act with any kind of authority because you doubt yourself. In essence, you are saying that you are dumb, stupid, ignorant. That's what you're really saying. And you need to be taken care of like a child. You need to be a ward of the state. Because you cannot handle your affairs like a responsible man or woman unless you are succumb to temptation by the system to hire an attorney to speak for you. An intellectual robot who is an officer of the court. And he's to speak for you when you stand before the court, being tried on some silly rule that doesn't apply to you anyway. Follow God's law. Do no harm. If you do no harm, there is no crime. There is no victim. But you see, when you're caught in the world of thought that has been imposed upon you, you are told that there are such illusory situations such as victim as crimes. Words on paper. Put there by so-called legislators, people who put together laws based on words, based on the intellect. And those words have the power of life and death to slaves who succumb through fear. It is time to break that trance, that satanic trance. No man is your master. No government is your master. No religion is your master. One either follows God's law, the law of infinite intelligence, or he follows man's law, Satanic law, legislated by people just like you. They gain power in controlling you through words. Words are illusions. Words are a means of communicating. Words are a means of identifying mechanical processes where one can create a fictitious reality and worship that. And that is what is done when you live in civilized society. Now, the courts know this because they are fictional entities. Any person created by law, created by words, which may be found on your birth certification, creates a fictitious person in a fictitious environment called civilized world. In that world, hell exists. Control exists. Power exists. Wealth exists. Slavery exists. Where do you want to be in your life? You want to be a somebody living in hell? Be a nobody who is in touch with infinite reality, the infinite energy of truth. Where you are protected from illusions of words and ideas, laws, rules, regulations. You have all contracted with the satanic entity of government when you accept the invitation by Satan to become a citizen of an organization. That's the milieu that you place yourself in voluntarily. When you do that, you accept the invitation, and you contract your life away, and you become mere chattel, a mere property, considered property of the corporation, of the government. Why would you do that? How dumb is that? You give away your life. You send your children to war, to fight, to kill others, to kill themselves for words, ideas that are hellbound. The remedy to all this is to come to your senses, to come to your full understanding of who you truly are, to break the spell that binds you to slavery. When your mother informed upon you of your birth, and the birth certificates came forth, arose from that event, naming you, giving you a name, a juristic name, and creating an artificial person. That's the key. That's how you've been snookered. That's the only entity that government has any jurisdiction over, is the fictitious entity of a juristic person that they created themselves. They do not have jurisdiction over living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient natural men and women, such as who you truly are. But they do over those who doubt themselves and give away their rights, sacrifice their humanity, sacrifice their sovereignty. The remedy to that is to realize that you are not a juristic person. You are not a surety for their actions. And you will not accept any punishments which have been imposed upon the juristic person, and seeing you as a surety for that judgment. Remove yourself from the system. In my website, arkenterprises.com, you'll find many links which will give you the steps that I have taken to remove myself from the fictional corporate government. I am not a slave. I am no man's slave. I certainly was hell, not government slave. Once you do that, your full rights return to you. For you have no rights as a person, a citizen of the government, of the corporate government. You are merely a corporate subject, and they own you. They own everything you do. They own your cars, they own your homes, they own your labor, they own your life. Look at what happens in the army. People give their lives away, they pledge their lives away. For what? For an illusion. Remove yourself from that, and once again be whole, be complete, be a nobody. It's beyond the realm of limited somebodies. When you do so, the government now owns your life if they wish to take it. Do not impose martial law upon you. Well, those are just instruments, satanic instruments, of juristic people who don't know any better, who will kill because they are ordered to kill. A whole different ball game, is not. Do no harm. Follow God's law. And remove yourself from the status of a 14th Amendment citizen. You'll find the steps on that on my website, as I say. I will not talk you through it. It's there if you want it. And if not, you make your choice. But once you remove yourself from the system, you are an holistic man or woman, no longer a legal person. Their rules don't apply to you. Their corporate rules. It only applies to corporate persons. Arm yourself. If they send soldiers to enforce their bogus laws, you have the right to self-defense and the defense of other defenseless people who are ignorant, not knowing who they truly are. That is the purpose of life on earth, is to remove yourself from this ignorance, this conditioned ignorance that all civilized people regard. Kill or be killed. I can guarantee you that any attempt to take on the 380 plus million people who live in the United States of America will fail, just because of sheer number. And it's just a percentage of that number. They can understand that they are acting with full rights, and that fictitious government employees have no rights to do what they're doing. Any attempt at enslaving America will fail. Something that cannot be done by joining together in organizations, movements. That's all satanic. It's out of the frying pan into the fire. Most of you see that to be the remedy. That's how dumb you are. You are the creator of your life. So create the life that you wish. If others want to go the other way, let them. Do not interfere with them. Let the dead bury the dead. To live, to have final peace in one's life, understanding, love, that requires intelligence. And intelligence requires action. I have given you the solution to stopping all this nonsense of the New World Order. Only for you. Now, if you get killed, that's a possibility. You understand the illusion of a conditioned life, which is merely a satanic cocoon, civilized behavior. And it was not real, but you believed it to be real. You are locked into beliefs which control your lives. You do that, and you fail to understand the purpose of your life. It's to free yourself from such illusions. Understand who you are. Abide by that. Do not harm others. And you are a free man, a sovereign man or a woman. You will be in touch with Christ's consciousness. You are all potential Christs. You have given it up. You suffer from amnesia because you believe the satanic mind control that has been imposed upon you for your entire lifetime. It's time to break loose. It's time to truly create the life that you want. It can be done.